Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new to our channel, welcome to our channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon to get notified when we come with new videos. We're constantly posting our fun adventures we go on, as well as informational videos in places like Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua. We have a whole series on Mexico as well. So yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And this video is a remake from 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2019 when we did it last. So we figure it's time to do a refresh on what we're going to be discussing with you guys today. So we are sitting out here at beautiful Playa Carrillo. It's only in a 10-minute drive from Playa Samara, where we live and where we have our Seacasa vacation rentals. So when you come and stay with us and visit, definitely come and check out this beach as well.
Yeah, exactly. It is different than Samara. It's a lot more natural, but yeah, definitely come stay with us at Seacasa. Just go to seacasasamara.com. It has all the information for booking with us, Airbnb links, and you can check all the availability there. So this video that we're remaking was actually our #1 video on our channel. It had 133,000 views. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. We had that many views, and we don't have that many subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. It helps us out, and it helps it so that we can make more videos for you guys to enjoy as we travel around and in Costa Rica as well. So this is a cost of living video in Costa Rica. We're gonna go over some annual expenses as well as some monthly expenses, and this is based on us as a family of 4. We did get some information from some friends as well, and our neighbors Betta and Michelle, who are a retired couple here as well, so you guys will be able to gauge a bit what it's going to cost for you to live here in Costa Rica.
Yeah, because they have totally different living situations than we do. One's a couple, one is a younger couple with a child, and stuff like that. So obviously everyone's cost of living is going to be different. You can't expect it to be the same, but we want to give you some comparisons as well, just to make it easier.
Yeah, and just something to gauge what you're going to spend on living down here. So it's just, yeah, this is what it is for a family of 4.
So just like anywhere in the world, there has been inflation. Some things have changed, some things haven't. Some things have become a lot more expensive in other countries than they have here, or vice versa. So it's all very situational, but this is a little bit of a guideline that you guys can follow.
Exactly. And obviously, depending on which part of the world you're coming from, you're going to look at Costa Rica as more expensive than where you live, or it could end up being less expensive, like comparable to a state like Idaho compared to a state like California. One's going to be more expensive, one's going to be less expensive to live here in Costa Rica. So we do have all our information on our phone. We are going to be looking at that. It's way too much to memorize. So yeah, we will be looking down just to let you know. But yeah, let's start with the annual costs. I'm going to have some of the information pop up here for you guys to see visually, and we'll also have this information in the description below so you guys can actually look at it and copy and paste it if you want. So annual cost, I did this exchange rate at 545 colones per $1 US. Just so you guys have an idea, it fluctuates so much, but that's what the exchange rate was when I did the conversions. So we're going to start with car insurance. Again, this is all annual stuff. For example, we have a 2001 RAV4. It's $320 a year for our insurance, our basic insurance. You can get extended insurance through INS if you want to spend more on that, if you have like a newer vehicle or something like that. But this is basic insurance, and there's 3 different tiers. So yeah, just to give you an example on what is a 22-year-old car. And then for our 2018 Honda ATV, it's $360 a year for that. Again, it's newer, it's worth more value. So it's based on the value of the vehicle. And then for an example too, Shayna's aunt and uncle have a 2017 Honda CRV with touring. No, it's a touring, yeah. So it's like the highest level you can get. They actually class it as a luxury vehicle when they imported it. So when we went with her aunt to get her insurance, I think it was 2019 or 2020, one of those. Her insurance for the year was $1,700. So as you get a newer vehicle, your insurance for the year is obviously going to be more expensive. So keep that in mind if you're looking at purchasing a vehicle down here. And then we get the question all the time, how much do cars cost down here? How much do cars cost where you live? I mean, it's not...
Kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, it's not straight across the board. Depends on year, model, all that stuff, package. And again, it is more expensive to purchase a vehicle here than it is in the United States and Canada, but they also hold their value. So when you go to sell that vehicle later on, you're going to get most of that money back. And one person told us the best thing to do is actually to buy a brand new vehicle and trade it in every 3 years. That way you have warranty, and because they hold their value so much. So a little extra thing on purchasing a vehicle. Oil changes for a vehicle, it's $75 for an oil change on a gas engine. So you're gonna get 2 a year, so that's $150 right there. If you have a diesel, it's a little bit more. So it's $128 per oil change. So you're about $256 for the year on a diesel engine. And then obviously, if there's other maintenance, you need tires and stuff like that. We can't really give that to you as an annual cost because each vehicle is gonna be different. With the car as well, there's an annual inspection here. It's now called Dekra. So it's $15 for a car, a SUV, or a truck. It's $11 for a motorcycle or an ATV. And then a golf cart's actually the most expensive. It's $20 if you have a golf cart. And yes, they do have to get the annual inspection as well and have to be insured to be able to drive them on the road. Property tax. So that's one place you're going to save money. Most people pay a lot more in property tax than you do here in Costa Rica. For example, a property that's worth around $250,000 US, you're paying about $650 a year for your property tax. So a lot less expensive than most places in North America for sure, and I'm sure in Europe as well.
Yeah, some people just save money coming down here and buying property.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I don't have to pay $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000
yeah, it's crazy.
a year to have my property. It's
yeah.
maybe only under $1,000, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So just those kind of things. Obviously, living in Costa Rica can be significantly cheaper than traveling to Costa Rica.
Yes.
But once you're here
Yeah.
and you get your feet on the ground and stuff, it's like you start noticing these things. It's like kind of all balances out.
Yeah, exactly. Your electricity might cost more, but you're saving it in other ways as well. If you buy a property, a house or a property, and it's you put it into a corporation, which there's many reasons why it's good to do a corporation. And if you are looking at purchasing down here, definitely talk to a lawyer. We can give you guys a great lawyer contact as well through the email consultation. Ask them about corporation versus private. I'm not going to go into that because that's not what this video is about. So just an example, if you have an inactive corporation, it's to have your house and everything else with that. It's about $200 a year for all the different fees and taxes to have an inactive corporation.
So now I'm going to talk to you guys about schooling for children.
Yes.
Our boys specifically have not been going to the private international academy here in Samara for the last 3 years. So what we've heard from talking to other friends that have their children going there, the prices have increased a little bit. Not only do they increase as your children get older in the school, but just the overall tuition costs have gone up a little bit. All of this information is always provided on the school's website, so you can refer back to that as well. But just to give you an example, let me just check here. So one of our friends has a daughter that's 4 years old, so she's considered like a pre-K program. It's all day, Monday to Friday. They pay anywhere between $3,420 a year to $4,560 a year, and this is in USD. So the difference is if you choose to buy additional uniforms, I guess they were saying, have the kids going on field trips or getting the lunch program every single day, there's an additional cost of about $1,100 a year on top of that. So basically, yeah.
And that's optional, so you don't have to do that. If you just want to get the tuition and the grade.
Yeah, so lower side around, let's say, $3,400 US, higher side $4,600 US, depending on if you do those optional things. There is another school in town, or just outside of town, sorry, that is not an accredited school. It's still a private school. They have their own curriculum, so they work off of that. And they're around $2,565 a year. I don't know if that includes any sort of food or uniforms and that kind of stuff. They haven't actually had their daughter start the school yet, but it's about half the price for the kids to go to that school that doesn't have the accreditation, just works off its own curriculum. So just to give you an idea. And then to see the difference in the age, our friend has a daughter that is going into 4th grade, and that's about $5,600 a year US, and then additional costs of around $1,100 or $1,200 US for the extracurricular things like the the field trips or the food and the uniforms.
Yeah.
So just an example for you guys to show you how the price increases over the years as your child gets older at a private international accredited school. Our friends have a daughter that's about to go into 4th grade, and they would be paying around $5,600 US for the year, and then plus any additional costs with food, uniform, or field trips. So that's a difference of about $2,000 US per year over the younger kids. So.
Yeah, from like pre-K up until grade 4. I mean, that's how it is. And I think it's around, like between 3rd grade and 4th grade, it was around $330 difference between those two. So, I mean, every grade is gonna be different because there's different materials and things like that.
And every school is gonna be different.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just what we know in this area. So again, some schools are way more expensive. All right, so now let's go over the monthly costs. We're gonna start with a major one, which is rent. We don't rent, we own. So if you own a house down here, then obviously you can disregard this part, but a lot of people are gonna rent, at least for the first year or 6 months. So rent is such a variable. It depends
Just like
on,
anywhere.
Exactly, it depends on where you live, what part of the country you're in. Are you close to the beach? Are you in the Central Valley? Are you in the South? So we're gonna base it on the Samara area. So rent, yeah, you can find places for $500 a month. You're gonna be in a older house that doesn't have as much amenities, may not have air conditioning.
Prepared.
Yeah, exactly. So be prepared
Maybe
for that.
Scorpion.
Yeah, or 7. We had that. We actually paid more than
Just
500.
needing more repairs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep that in mind. I mean, obviously, this depends on your budget, of course, but you're not going to have some grand house with air conditioning and a pool table and stuff for $500.
That's not realistic.
No, exactly. So yeah, it starts from $500. Rent can go up to $5,000 or more if you want to have a gigantic house
There's
overlooking.
houses right up on that hill over
Yeah.
here, just behind where we're looking.
Yeah.
Big mansions and stuff.
Yeah,
for
exactly. So again,
that price.
depends on your budget, depends on your area. Average rental is $1,500 to $2,500 a month. Again, it's going to depend on how many bedrooms and the stuff that's included,
fair.
air conditioning stuff.
1,500, 2,000.
Yeah, I'd say 2,000. Let's just say 2,000 because I'm going to have a breakdown at the end. We'll just do an average of $2,000. So that's what you can expect to pay to have something that you're used to having back in North America.
And probably like
Europe.
a 2-bedroom, maybe a 3-bedroom.
3 bedrooms are
1 or
hard
2
to find, so keep that in mind
But
as well.
Yeah, 2-bedroom. The best thing you can do and what we tell other people is just, know what your budget is.
Yeah.
Come down here. Go and talk to some local property managers that are really good and reputable. We have contacts for that if you guys need through the consultation.
Yeah.
And just go around with them and just see what is available in your budget, and then you'll get an idea kind of what you're going to get for your money down here in a different country.
Yeah, so and that's one of the things that has gone up a bit in price is the rental because more people are moving to Costa Rica, so be prepared that it's not the same as it was in 2019. But there is places that are still available around that. So you again, it's just talking to people and finding that right place that fits your budget and what you're looking for.
So what do we have next here? Groceries.
Yeah.
So for a family of 4 like us, not including alcohol, we do enjoy our beer and wine occasionally.
But this is just strictly food.
This is just food. Kind of around $1,000 to $1,300 a month. We do a lot of cooking at home, of course.
Yeah, we do,
like to buy
do a lot
fresh.
more now. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, $1,000 to $1,300 US a month would be kind of a safe bet. You can obviously, survive off of less than that if you want, depending on what kind of food you're buying.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we do buy good quality, local foods and stuff like that too, which are very reasonable. But then some store-bought stuff as well. So that's a mix of everything.
Yeah, and again, that's us with 2 teenage boys. One eats quite a bit, the other one not so much.
Yeah.
And it is different from our last video because in our last video we were eating out more. So now we cook a lot more at home. So our grocery bill's a lot more expensive, but our eating out bill is a lot less as well. So I'm just going to jump into that quickly because I want to talk about that. Eating out, it is obviously going to vary depending on where you eat out. If you're going to be at like somewhere like Gusto here in Samara where it's a little bit more expensive, or if you're going to go to a soda like La Perla, which you can get a full casado for about 3,500 colones.
Yeah, like $6
yeah, I think it's 6 something. I'll have the conversion below on all this stuff.
And most of the time you have leftovers.
Yeah, so again, it's going to depend on where you're eating out, things like that, and then there's places in between that. So and how often you eat out. So I just wanted to put that in there with the grocery thing, and that way I mean, whether you're cooking at home or you're going to be eating out, that's going to vary. But so this just gives you an example of what it costs as a family of 4 if you're cooking at home a lot.
Back to the eating out thing too, we have noticed a lot of the beach restaurants, not just here, but all over Costa Rica, probably in other countries too.
Yeah, Mexico was actually around the same price as here.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of the beach restaurants here have increased their price on, you know, alcoholic drinks and the food and stuff like that. You know, there's the beach tax, the sunshine tax, those kind of things. And I think they're just trying to recoup after all the 2020 stuff that went on.
Yeah.
So not significantly enough to not come and go and enjoy your time there, you know? So or go occasionally when you're living here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we don't go out as much as we used to. So.
But we still will sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's still good.
And it's fun.
Yep.
Exactly. Meeting up with friends and family that come down. All right, so we're gonna go over the medical here. This is something we didn't talk about in our last video 4 years ago because we didn't know anybody that was on the Caja, and Caja is the medical system here in Costa Rica. It's a public medical system, and if you have residency in any category, you do have to pay monthly into the Caja. So our neighbors, Beth and Michelle, they have the pensionado, which is pensioners residency. So if you have a pension back from North America or Europe, you can apply for this one. And for 2 of them, their monthly bill is $100 to have the Caja medical. You get anything included that's at a hospital or a medical clinic that's a public one, as well as some of the pharmaceuticals as well. And then for our friends that have the rentista one, so they've done $60,000 into a bank account here to have their residency that way. They're paying about $450 for 3 of them, and for 4 of us, it'd be like $500 for that.
Almost
so,
600, I think,
yeah. So people are asking why we don't have residency yet. That's one of the reasons we don't, because we travel so much. We don't want to be paying into something we wouldn't even be here to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So we just use travel insurance through Safety Wing. We have the link for that if you guys want to check that out as well. And they do travel insurance as well as medical insurance while you're living abroad.
It's a good option.
Yeah.
Also, from what we've heard, it's not being put into place yet, but when the prices did increase in the Caja, there's a new president that came into Costa Rica now, and apparently he's going to work on lowering that. So it might end up going back down to the original prices. Yeah,
exactly. So just like go on Tico Times and keep an eye out on that. That could end up changing. We're not going to make a video about that. There's other channels in Costa Rica, Travel Costa Rica Now. Michael Allen, he talks a lot about the stuff like medical and things like that. So make sure to check out his channel if you want more information about that kind of thing. All right, so now for the most costly thing living in Costa Rica monthly, which is the electricity.
It's painful. It hurts.
Yeah, it is actually. But again, you save money annually with things like your property tax.
Balances out. But it's all over the world. It seems like electricity is the higher bill usually.
Yeah, exactly. When we were in Canada, it was the most expensive one as well. So, so there's obviously it's going to vary depending on if you're using air conditioning or fans or have a pool or things like that. Yeah, rental properties.
On your property.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't include that in ours because that's separate than if you're just living down here. So what we pay typically for a family of 4, we run the AC quite often because we don't want our clothes to mold. We also don't want our electronics to crap out because you get all the moisture in there. So we spend about $300 US a month on electricity, and we do have our pool pump run 24/7. It's a variable pump, so you just keep things like that in mind as well.
Dishwasher.
Yeah, we have a dishwasher.
Washing machine, which we use every single day too because of the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So yes, we do use a lot of electricity.
Yes, we do, and we're guilty of that. Yeah. But that's just how we choose to live. Again, you can do a lot less than that. Yeah. For an example, to our neighbors, Beth and Michelle, just 2 of them, they also have a pool. They run the AC a little bit as well, but just 2 of them. They don't have kids doing school on their computers 5 days a week as well. So they're around $165 to $257, depending on time of year, obviously. More heat, more AC, things like that. So yeah, just an example of what electricity is going to cost. You may be able to find a place that you rent that includes electricity, but for the most part, you do have to pay on top of that. So keep that in mind when moving down to Costa Rica.
Water. So yeah, $40 to $60 a month, depending on the time of year and how much watering you're going to do on your landscaping, how big is your property, and also if you have a pool that you need to top up every day.
Yeah, exactly. Ours is more on the higher side, like $60 because we do top up.
But
the
it can
pool
be as
often.
low as 40. I think, I don't know. At one point, it was down to 25.
Yeah,
$30.
yeah. That was before we were watering everything, as well as before the pool. So you can have it lower. It could be even $20 again, depending on how much water you use. And that's again family of 4, showering, things like that.
Yeah, average of around 40.
Yeah,
40 a month.
I think that's a good average for sure. All right, so I've just had to change the camera from 4K to 1080 because it overheated. We haven't done a video this long in 4K, so I had no idea it would do that. So I don't think the quality will change that much, but if you do see a change in quality, that's why. Just wanted to share with you guys why it did change if there is a notice.
This is how we love you guys so much. This is the amount of time that we spend for you.
To the point
that the camera overheats and says, you better shut me off.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. So. All right, so internet. This is a question we get asked a lot by friends and family, and they're like, how is the internet? Is it any good? Is it expensive? And it's better than most places in North America. We have guests that stay with us at our rentals, and they're like, your internet's so much better than what we have back home. It's crazy, like how reliable it is. We'll be on it, our kids are on it, doing their school, plus we'll have people in the rentals. And
yeah, people working online all day long and stuff like that. It never drops. No. Super, super, super good.
And I think we've had, like with Liberty, the company we have our internet with, like it goes out randomly. It went out the other day, was for the longest time ever, and it was like what, 7 hours or something, which was like insane. It maybe drops like for an hour if it does go out, but it's super rare. So for an example, we have 230 megabits per second download and 30 megabits per second upload, and we only pay $70 a month for that.
So reasonable.
It's so fast. It's exactly. It's a reasonable price for that. And again, we do a lot of stuff online, and we've never had an issue with our guests like saying, oh, the internet wasn't very stable when I'm doing my phone calls, things like that, and we're all on it at the same time. So yeah, internet, don't worry about that. You're gonna have good internet. Most places have Liberty available. eSay is available in a lot of places, and then there's other options as well, but we've always had Liberty, and it's always been good.
And they're fiber optic, right?
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
put fiber optics all over Costa Rica, so that's just within the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's why it's gotten so much better in the last 6 years since we moved down. Okay, phone plans. So you can get a phone plan as a tourist here. If you are just planning on coming down for 6 months or a year, you can go to or contact Liberty, and you can actually get a SIM card and a phone plan. And we just switched to Liberty from eSay. We got a way better deal, and we got a lot more features with that as well. So now we pay $24 US a month. We get 12 gigabytes.
Sorry, not sorry. We know how much you guys pay back home.
Especially in Canada, it's crazy.
Crazy.
So yeah, $24, we get 12 gigabytes of data, which we never use, and then it's actually stackable. So if you don't use all your data, like the 1 month, it's gonna be added onto your next month.
I think I have 22 or 23 now stored up.
I think it taps out like at 2 months. You can't just keep stacking it month over. So I've had up to 24 gigabytes of data available because it stacked a couple months. And then 300 phone calls, so that is in country. And then free phone calls if it's with another Liberty client. So a lot of people here in Costa Rica are with Liberty. Most people use WhatsApp anyway. We get 300 texts. We get unlimited text if it's with another Liberty client. Unlimited social media, so all your little TikToks and whatever these kids are doing these days. if you're out Instagramming,
grammar.
Yeah, exactly. Facebook, WhatsApp as well is all free in that. And then our package actually includes all of Central and North America. So we can travel from Panama to Canada, and we'll have data and phone service. Yeah, exactly. So that's a really good plan for $24 a month. Sorry to rub it in, friends and family back in Canada.
Unfortunately, it is very sad. You're paying up to like $200 a month. So once again, another savings when you move to Costa Rica, right? So something else might be a little bit more expensive at a grocery store or at the beach.
Your Doritos or your whatever else, Cheetos might be more expensive.
The beach restaurant might cost a little bit more, but you're compensating and saving in all these other ways.
In your monthly bill. So again, you don't have to be a resident here. You don't have to have a corporation. You can be a tourist and be able to get a package through Liberty. And we've been happy with it so far.
Yeah.
All right, so this is another thing we didn't discuss in the last video as well. There is no natural gas in Costa Rica. So if you have a gas stove, you're gonna have to use propane, or a barbecue as well. It's just propane, and there's no, I can't say there's no place to refill, but in places like Samara and that, you don't actually go to refill the propane tank. You take your empty tank into, say, Super China, and you just exchange it for another one. And it's about, what was it, 45,000 colones. So I'll have the conversion here to buy the original tank filled, and then it's about 8,000 colones to exchange it for an empty one for a full one. So it works out to about, I mean, ours usually lasts 3 months. We're cooking quite a bit at home. So it's about $5 a month for propane. So it's really inexpensive. I just wanted to include that because we didn't include that in the last video.
Okay, so the last 3 things we're gonna let you know about are, we've got pool supplies at around $40 a month. That's all the chemicals and just things you need to maintain your pool. Fuel in a car, so any gasoline, roughly $80 to $100. I don't know what diesel is, do you know?
No, I don't. I think it's about the same as far as price goes. It fluctuates just like anywhere.
And
but
is this premium?
That's premium, yeah.
Okay, for premium.
It's gonna depend on how much you drive, where you drive.
Yeah.
And I did make a note on here too. Our friend John has a little scooter, and I think he puts $6 in every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Just going to town to get groceries and stuff.
We do that too in our quad, right? In our ATV.
Yeah,
so obviously motorbike, scooter, ATV is gonna be cheaper. That's the reality anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you need to fill up a car like an SUV or anything like that, it's gonna be roughly $80 to $100.
Yeah, and actually for our Canadian viewers, fuel here is about, this is for like premium, which is like the top one you can get. And I think it was $1.70 per liter, which is like what people, my dad's paying that for regular in Salmon Arms. So you're getting a better fuel, and it's the same price as regular there. So just to give you an example of fuel pricing.
One thing I can definitely vouch for is the price of any beauty services or salon services here in Costa Rica, significantly less. There are some bigger beach town areas, and even in the city where there are some really posh salons and pretty fancy. Yeah. And you will pay North American pricing there as a tourist, but any locally owned salon or beauty type place that does hair, nails, pedicures and stuff like that, about half the price of what you would normally pay. I used to pay back in Kelowna $80 to get my nails done, Canadian. Yeah. And down here it's $40 US for a set of nails. Pedicures usually anywhere between $25 and $40. Yeah. So definitely I would say about half. Same with getting your hair colored if it's longer like mine, or a woman's cut or anything like that. I know men's cuts are what, 5, 6, 7,000.
Yeah, something like 5 to 7,000. I'll have the conversion below for you.
Same for kids, like our boys, that's what we pay for them.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And there is quite a few options usually in every beach town as far as needing a haircut. So it's not like you have to go to the city.
There are some people you can go to their house and get your services done, or they can come to you, so that's even less. But yeah, all in all, about half the price.
Yeah, which is good, because that's things you do have to get done.
Those are the things that I can actually afford to do down here that I couldn't afford to treat myself to as often back in Canada. So down here, if I want to treat myself to that, I can, and I don't even feel guilty about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so there you go, a rundown of monthly expenses. Those are the majority of the expenses you're gonna have when you live in Costa Rica. There's things that we don't know. Some people have different medical issues. They're gonna need different pharmaceuticals. There's some people that drink more than others. That's why we talked about the alcohol is not in the grocery list and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all situational. So again, these are like the basics, just to give you an idea. Again, it's going to be in the description below. If you want to copy and paste it in a notepad, and then you can take it and do the math and things like that, then at least you have that availability. But yeah, it's really not as expensive as a lot of people say. Traveling here, yes, it's going to be more expensive than going to some other places, and you're eating out and things like that. But as far as living, you're saving annually on a lot of things, and you're saving on cell phones. Like, that's a huge savings right there. So
yeah, regardless, I would never let any certain costs of living in Costa Rica detour anybody from living here or traveling here. It's still a beautiful country. A lot of times, no matter what, it's one of those situations you get what you pay for too. Quality of life.
Yeah, and you get a lot of free activities like going to the beach.
Never have to pay to go to the beach.
Yeah, it's always warm. You don't have a heat bill.
Beer's cheaper when you put it in your cooler.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so if you are planning on moving to Costa Rica, don't listen to other people say, oh, it's the most expensive country in the world and all this other stuff. It's not like that at all. You're going to be able to live here on a lower budget, as some people do. You're also going to be able to live here on a more extravagant budget as well. It just depends on where you live and how you want to live. So yeah, I hope you you guys enjoyed this video, a nice little roundup of 4 years of the differences between 2019 and 2023. And yeah, it's fun to share this with you guys.
Yeah, we really hope this was helpful for you guys. We've wanted to do this video again for a while, the updated version of it. And we're happy to help you. If you have any questions, you need any help aside from this video, send us an email. We'll do a consultation with you. That's no problem. We have some options for that.
And we've done hundreds of them, probably like almost 1,000, I would say, since like we first moved down. So definitely we have a lot of information, as well as people that can help you when you're down here, realtors, lawyer, banking information if you need someone to set up a bank account, things like that, especially in the Samara area. So again, if you guys did like this video, please leave a thumbs up. A thumbs up is what gets our videos out there to more people. More thumbs up we have, the more this video gets out there, and then the more views we get, and we can continue to make more videos for you guys. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon to get notified when we come out with new videos. That again helps us as well. The more subscribers we have, the more we can do more videos and travel and stuff like that to bring you more information in other countries. And yeah, we'll leave the video off here, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
Ciao.